rainy day project in Buffalo. I figured I'd build a terrarium. Hopefully one day be able to put some frogs in there. I got an unreal deal on a bunch of tanks off Craigslist. Some calcium lime remover. These tanks were shot when I got them, but I paid $100 for about 10 tanks. So I figured I'd do a cool little budget project for my 6-month-old to stare at instead of the TV. Using a razor blade scraper, microfibers and paper towels. Took a couple times through to clean. Doing this project again, I probably would have got new tanks, but since this was my first build, I figured we'll see what I can do. This pretty much was the most tedious part of the process. Just making sure the tanks are clean. I decided to take a break and go outside in the backyard and see what I can scrounge up to throw in the tank. I had a bunch of dead bushes that I removed. Figured I could throw those in there. I also seen some old fence material that I had laying in the back that I figured would be perfect for a background wall. I'm adding a background wall because eventually I want to add pumps and add some waterfall trickles down the side. I didn't really know how I wanted to do it, but I figured after chopping them up that would look pretty good. It was a nice natural look. Gotta let the dogs in. Wanted to go in and out like 40 times during this process. It was pouring outside all day too. That's one of 3 huskies. I was just thinking how I was going to make those stand up, and I figured the best way would just be to cut a long piece and silicone it on the long way. I ended up using some Romex staples too. Ended up being perfect. Substrate in. That's what the board ended up looking like. Just adding some silicone onto the sides for the spray foam to adhere to. Also to make that background piece sturdy. I then proceeded to just spray on the spray foam. Granted, this being my first time doing it, I didn't really know what I was doing too much. But I did have a basic landscape and layout that I wanted. Just continuing to fill in all the spots, letting it set up. Try to do a little mid-project cleanup, maybe work on the top of the tank. I had this nice black paint. Just throwing a rough coat on now. Figured I'd finish once the tank is done. I'm an idiot and I touched the top of the tank. Got it all over my arm and shirt. I always try to wear paint clothes, but of course I didn't here. And I should just know that anytime I'm doing anything where my clothes can get messy, they are going to get messy. Just adding some rock substrate to the bottom. Then I put my mesh filter. And now I'm adding an organic compost style mulch sand mix. I think the name on it was pumice. I siliconed these rocks on. I actually put a couple longer screws in to hold them, knowing that I'd cover them with some spray foam later. I wanted to make a little bit of like a pedestal for maybe frogs or something to be able to jump on. I'm just spray foaming around the top to give it more of a natural look and to hide those nails on the bottom. That's kind of what we got now. I primed the spray foam with the black paint so that way none of that white stuff went through, and now I'm siliconing the sides of the spray foam to add a substrate. If I was doing this project again, I wouldn't have done a clear silicone on the sides for you to see the spray foam. I'd use a black, but here's the final product.